it's me. Today we are once again talking about Gabbie Hanna because you gotta admit she's an interesting person to talk about, and that's what we do here. We talk about interesting people and things that happen on the internet. And because I am absolutely depleted in artistic drive and creativity when it comes to drawing Gabby, since I've already drawn her time and time again, I will just be showcasing some of my previous drawings of Gabby from my very old videos, and you'll be able to kind of see my style changing over time. As always, I would like to invite my fellow artist friends to grab a sketchbook, a snack, a beverage, and make some artwork with me while we sit and chat. Please feel free to participate in the comments as you watch, since that really helps me out as a small channel. And if you're not an artist or don't feel like doodling along, I hope you just enjoy sitting back and listening anyway. I'd love for you to join me on Instagram or Twitter at PaintAndSipYT and share with me what you're working on. I love seeing all the fun stuff you guys create while listening to my videos, and I love sharing your artwork at the end of my videos as well. And if you like stickers and coloring pages, you might like my Patreon. Everyone who is a member or becomes a member of my $3 tier in September will be getting a holographic crystal ball full moon type sticker sent to them in the mail, along with access to my archive of downloadable coloring page illustrations. Links to everything I mentioned will be in the description as always. Now let's get started. So recently, Gabbie Hanna appeared on the Mom's Basement podcast hosted by Keemstar and FaZe Banks. At one point during the podcast, Gabby refers to drama channels as tabloids, which really got me thinking and trying to see her point from her point of view. I wanted to actually compare drama channels to tabloids to see how similar they actually are in terms of what they are trying to achieve as an end goal, what's their motive, how does it impact the audience and the creators that are talked about. And I also wanted to ask the question, why does Gabby see drama channels that way instead of just people on the internet who want to provide constructive criticism like a lot of us are? Why does Gabby go after channels like Angelica Oles, Rachel Oates, Dustin Daly, etc., but supports Keemstar, someone with a channel who reports on internet drama on his channel called Drama Alert? Hello Leash asked this question on her Instagram story, and she will be going into depth on her channel about the subject, but it also got me inspired to try to answer that question in my own way as well. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and go through all my thoughts, as unorganized as they may be, and I hope I'm able to provide some insight and strike up some conversation. With that said, I do just want to keep this conversation pretty light, since I do not want to hurt anybody's feelings, including the creators I talk about in any of my videos or anyone who may be watching from either side of the discussion. I just want this to be a fun, safe place to talk about some internet gossip and either make some art or do something else light and relaxing. So I tried to separate the term drama channels as a whole into different categories because I see a lot of differences that come from the different kinds. I'm sure I may be missing some subcategories, but in general, the categories I came up with are the gossip channels, the reporters, the commentators, and then the social justice channels. And these aren't totally separate categories. I think most channels can be classified as at least two different types at any given time. For me, I would definitely say I am the gossip category and maybe some commentary as well. There are other channels who strictly report on what's happening, the reporters, without giving too much insight or opinions usually. And then the gossip channels seem to be less strict about their content and their scripts and being unbiased, etc. And these are the people who seem to do it more for fun and usually don't want to take anything way too seriously. And the commentators are the ones who talk about what's going on and turn it into a deeper discussion about people and human behaviors and morals, etc. And the channels who focus more on social justice take commentary a step further and try to take the discussion and apply it to real life, encouraging their audience and the creators that they are talking about to make changes for the better. Or if the creator is in a situation that has gone too far for change, these are the channels that usually publicly campaign for criminal justice and deplatformation and encourage their audience to be proactive in trying to make those consequences stance is effective. There are a lot of channels in the social justice category who are full of super passionate and smart people who are far more educated than I am and like to dig way deeper than just gossip. I love watching them and listening to them, and I think it's a good step for me personally to learn from them and open myself up more to social issues that I should be paying more attention to in my daily life. They move further than just chat and gossip, but they turn these internet situations into valuable life lessons that all of us should be at least exposing ourselves to, even if we don't all walk away with the same views and opinions. I don't think Gabby has been able to differentiate these different types of channels, but instead she sees them all as one entity whose only motive is money. That definitely probably is the case for some channels, but for others, the purpose is much deeper than that. I follow some creators who aren't even monetized, and they still grind and post and champion for social change, and they use creators like Gabbie Hanna as examples of the change they want to see happen. Or to word that better, they sort of see Gabbie Hanna as a vehicle for the change they want to see happen, since Gabbie Hanna usually displays a lot of the behaviors that we don't want to see anymore from creators in general and just people from the audience. The reason why I do it is, yes, the money is great. It's not any more than I can make from just like a regular part-time office job by any means, but I'm literally so grateful that I just get to pay my bills by making art and talking about things on the internet that interest me. But I would definitely still love making these videos as just a hobby. It started out as a hobby for me. I've been making YouTube videos for about 10 years, and I've never made a cent off of anything I have ever posted until one of my videos on this channel randomly blew up earlier this year. Making money is awesome, but some of us just do it because we like it, and it's interesting, and people naturally just love gossip, including me. Anyway, I think Gabby sees all the drama channels as money-hungry tabloids who want nothing more than to bully creators into cancellation. Again, some of them want to do that, yes, but most of them do not. And again, this is bigger than just Gabbie Hanna. She's almost just like the vehicle for discussions to take place, since she displays the behaviors that we want to talk about and discuss, and she displays some of the morals that are bad and what we want to see changed from here on out. Anybody who is on the internet can get criticism online. Look up some of the most wholesome creators on any gossip forum, and I'm sure you'll find something negative said about them. But sometimes it's just best for those creators not to look, because it can be very unhealthy. I recently saw one of my videos posted on an online forum, and I just couldn't bring myself to look at the comments because I was afraid of getting hurt, or of people being mad at me for not being hard enough or mean enough to the creator that I was talking about. So I just asked my family members to look for me. It turned out the comments were disabled anyway, so there was nothing to see. But my point is if you're a creator, people will use your behavior and your content as a vehicle to provide criticism and sometimes hate on the internet. And sometimes it's best just not to look, and instead just look into yourself and make sure that you approve of everything that you're doing. And I have to admit that one of my major flaws is being a people pleaser, especially when it comes to my videos. I've had people tell me that I am being too critical, and that makes me want to pull back. And then other times people have told me that I'm not critical enough, and that makes me want to validate their opinions and agree with them and agree with what they're saying that I could have been more critical on. I feel like I need to be more careful with how I may shift my opinions from one situation to another in order to cater to or relate to whoever I'm having an interaction with. I know one piece of criticism Gabby gets is that she changes her opinions and changes her story to fit whichever narrative she needs it to fit it in, but I can get like that too. Like I said, it's one of my flaws, but I'm trying to be more independent in my thinking and stick to my beliefs, but also, my beliefs are constantly changing as I learn more. I guess I'm just a very malleable person in general, sometimes to a fault, but what I can stand behind is whatever I say in the moment, I do genuinely believe it when I'm saying it. I don't know, look into my astrology and I bet it says that somewhere in there. I'm a Gemini sun and moon, Sagittarius rising, and since Gemini is ruled by Mercury, I would also like to share that I'm a Taurus Mercury, which I think is important Do with that what you will if you feel like it. And again, referencing Hello Leash, she posted on her Instagram story a short title that made the connection between Gabby hating tabloids but calls Keemstar a friend and seemingly supporting white straight male commentators instead of other drama channels. Alicia asked her audience why that may be, and for the most part, people are calling it misogyny. People are comparing Gabbie Hanna to a pick-me girl, or the type of person who goes out of their way to gain male attention and support, and trying to act not like other girls, almost to seem cooler, like the cool chick, the one the boys all want to be friends with, etc. But it can be pretty harmful to hold yourself in that way in order to seek male validation to feed your ego. I used to be that way before when I was a kid and a preteen. In elementary school, I would sit at only the boys' table at lunch because they were less drama. I'd think I was cooler than other girls because I played video games and I skateboarded. I would feel special when I was on Call of Duty and I was talking on my headset and a guy would say, "Wow, you're a girl, that's so cool." And I would also get jealous when other girls would join the game lobby. But then I grew up and I realized that's dumb and I'm not special or better than other girls, and I was definitely a pick me back then, but I grew out of that phase. That being said, I do get the vibe that Gabby is still like that. I don't know her personally, so I can't say that for sure, but it is just a vibe, which essentially is meaningless, but still. And I don't say that as a mean thing either. Again, I used to be that way, and I think a lot of us have acted in unfavorable ways in order to gain some sort of ego validation. Being a pick-me person isn't a crime. It's mostly just cringy and perhaps a bit ignorant and closed-minded, and it just means that there is a lot of room for growth and acceptance of others. People do say that being a pick-me girl is rooted in misogyny, which I can totally agree with to an extent, but again, I think most of us have had that misogyny instilled in us from a very early age, and we all need or needed to work to overcome that. Again, I had it instilled in me when I was young, and I'm still learning about myself and figuring out life and becoming a better person every day. As an adult, I'm letting myself meet more types of people, I'm opening myself up to different beliefs, growing out of my old ways, and I'm still changing because I'm never going to be the final version of myself. And I'm accepting of that, and I'm open to change that's still going to come. And I don't see it as such a black and white way of thinking as Gabby is a misogynist and that's why she likes Keemstar. But I think it does mean that there is some deep-rooted misogyny that most of us may not recognize at first glance. I think it also has to do with Gabby seeking validation from anyone, not just white men, but anyone who will give her positive attention and positive feedback. I've said this before, but I have made an art critique video about Gabbie Hanna's drawings and paintings, and I was very nice about it, and I was very nice about what I was saying, and at the end of the day, I was a fan of Gabby, so I said her artwork is amazing, but I only pointed out some very small technical errors that could have been improved. Because my critique was so positive, Gabby supported my video, left a nice comment, and she followed me on Twitter. I almost see that as her rewarding me for giving her positive validation, but once I critiqued her behavior on Twitter, those rewards were taken away when I was swiftly unfollowed and blocked. Anyway, here I am now, a gossip channel, but I wouldn't call myself a tabloid by any means. I've said this time and time again, but I just like to chat about internet stuff and open up some conversation about internet culture. I'm not here to change your mind or get anybody canceled, break any news, give any inside scoops or anything like that. I'm just talking about what's already public, gathering some different opinions, learning about what people think and why they think them, and sharing all of that with you while we hang out and draw stuff. There are some channels who are just straight up hateful and unproductive, which I could never support, but for the most part, drama channels are pretty harmless and sometimes even necessary for social change. And those are my thoughts. If you're still working on some art or you want to listen to me talk some more, my latest video is just a chit-chat draw with me where we talk about just Etsy stuff and just random things in general. No YouTube drama, but it's a longer video, so if you're into that, let's go hang out over there. I'll meet you there. With that, here is some of the art that my viewers have made during my previous videos. And I would love for you to share your artwork with me on Twitter or Instagram, linked in my description. I also have a Patreon where I send my supporters stickers and handwritten thank you cards in the mail. And I also offer downloadable coloring pages over there that might be fun for us to work on while we listen to these videos. Links to everything will be in the description. I hope you enjoyed hanging out and maybe making some artwork with me. If you're not an artist, I hope you were able to just hang out and listen and enjoy the video anyway. Thank you so much for watching and stay creative. See you next time.